Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kentucky State Fair Open Beef Show. This morning here in Broadbent Arena, we have the Simmental and Sim Angus and Hereford shows. Welcome to deal. We're ready to go, I guess, if Judge Weingartner's ready. We're still getting a little rah-rah from the Hereford judge here, so we'll be ready to go shortly. As we start the show this morning, let me introduce our judge for the Simmental and percentage Simmentals, Mr. Brad Weingartner, and his wife Melanie own and operate Weingartner Klingman show cattle with their son Tyler and son-in-law Curtis. Runs about 125 key main Angus cows, have an embryo transfer program, and has an annual production sale. Brad grain farms with his brother and has judged shows all over the country, state and national shows, as well as raised many national and champions, females, and bulls. Please welcome Mr. Brad Weingartner to the Simmental ring. And on the Hereford side, if you're ready, your judge is Mr. Lydell Meyer from Clinton, Tennessee, owner of Three Aces Cattle Company, along with his wife and three children, Andrew, Annie, and Elisa. Also operates and raises Angus cattle, Red Angus, Simmental, and Charolais. Please welcome Mr. Lydell Meyer to the Hereford ring. Thank you, Judge Weingartner. Results from our first class of Simmentals, Class 1, cow-calf class. Your winner was entry number 1, shown by Madeline Talent from Ball Ground, Georgia. Congratulations.
Well, good morning. Certainly an honor and a privilege to be here in Louisville, Kentucky, and sorting your Hereford Open show here this morning. Great pair of pairs here to get going this morning, and sure compliment both of these exhibitors on an out pair of really nice cows. The one that's going to win, I think, is pretty outstanding. You talk about skeleton design, added foot size, and structural correctness. I think that's where she just really excels. So good in her top line, her general build, how square she is off of both ends, and then you add into that added foot size and bone and power, and then just mass through the center part of her body as far as muscle shape and skeletal width. Then she has that added look and extension up through her front end, and she transcends that into that calf that's at her side that's extremely stout and extremely good looking as well. And then from an udder standpoint, she's more than acceptable. Beautiful as far as her teat size and teat structure and uniformity in the way that udder is constructed from front to rear. The mature cow that ends up being second in our reserve champion, in her own right, I think this is a really, really good design one. Very structurally correct, very functional at the ground. I like her foot size, her foot shape. When you get her out on the move, she's still extremely athletic. She too is extremely nice in her lines and her design from a skeleton standpoint. In comparison to the one that wins, she just doesn't have that added dimension as far as skeletal width and muscle shape, maybe not quite as large-footed and big boned as the one that wins, just from a mass standpoint. But you got to appreciate her from a refinedness and from just a pure longevity standpoint. I think you got to appreciate that cow because she has those attributes, and a really nice bull calf at her side. Two excellent pairs. Let's give them a nice round of applause.
Thank you, Judge Meyer. Results from our first Hereford class, cow-calf class. Your winner was entry number 2, shown by Levi Womack, Pembroke, Kentucky. And second place was entry number 6, shown by Hanson Pyle from Cecilia, Kentucky. Congratulations. Also, champion and reserve cow-calf pair. Thank you, sir. Results from Class 6 Junior Heifer Calves in the Simmental ring. Your winner is entry number 5, shown by Kyra Moore from Fountain Run, Kentucky. Second place was entry number 4, shown by Patrick O'Sullivan from Murray, Kentucky. Congratulations.
Excellent pair here, March heifer calves, and to get our heifer show going. Two extremely nice build, attractive females. I think you kind of got to just really get up on top of them and break them down just to see the subtle differences at this stage of the game. And of course, these things are still young and they're going to change as they develop. Probably for me, the one that's going to win is just a little denser as she comes at me today. I think she's a little fuller and bolder right in at the top side of her blades and back into over that loin edge. I prefer her from hooks to pins just slightly better. I think she's pulled apart just a little bit more from in her pin structure. She's just a scooch a little bigger in her bone, just a little stouter as far as her skeleton design. I don't know if just from a pure rib shape and depth standpoint, I think that advantage goes to our heifer here in second. I think the heifer here in second is maybe even just a little bit sharper and chiseled about her jawline and back through her neck. But the heifer that's going to win, I think she just excels the pair as far as density and the way she puts it together, especially over her top line. Two high quality heifers to go 1 and 2 in that class.
Thank you, sir. Results from Class 2 Hereford Spring Heifer Calves. Your winner was entry number 10, shown by Rylan Hines from Magnolia, Kentucky. Second place was entry number 11, shown by Zachary Imbruglia from Litchfield, Kentucky. Congratulations. Well, thank you. Judge Weingardner, your results of Class 7 Simmentals. Your winner is entry number 7, shown by Madeline Talent from Ball Ground, Georgia. In second place was entry number 9, shown by Adam Miller from Eminence, Kentucky. We're now showing for Junior Heifer Calf Champion on the Simmental side.
Another excellent class here, Hereford heifer calves. That young man's heifer is a little overwhelming as far as just power and performance as they stand today. But with that, one that puts a lot of good together. That muscle shape, that length of her spine and length of hooks to pins and extension up to her front end. Quality at the ground, gets out and goes extremely nice, extremely square and stout off of both ends. You know, one puts a lot of nice things together in this class. The little more decision comes between 2 and 3. Two really fresh green females that have a lot of future and promise. Just maybe doesn't come at us today quite as show ready as the one that wins. For me, the one that ends up being second, I think I just prefer her in her top line and the way she's designed. I think she's a little leveler and easier in her top. I think she's a little better from hooks to pins. I think she gives up some length to the heifer that's right in behind her. But when you set them into motion as well, I think she collects herself, especially off of her rear end, just a shot better than the heifer that's in third. The heifer in third, I think, is one that's just at a little awkward stage. A heifer that's got some neat parts and pieces, extremely nice fronted, has some rib shape, but maybe just wants to get a little tighter and a little up in her top when you set her into motion. Just gets a little more awkward in the way she handles those hind legs when you set her into motion. But 3 really nice heifers to go 1, 2, and 3 in that class.
Thank you, sir. Results from Class 3 Hereford Junior Heifer Calves. Your winner, entry number 12, shown by Lee Van Womack from Pembroke, Kentucky. Second was entry number 45, Sadie Jo Brown, Hardinsburg, Kentucky. And third, entry 46, also shown by Sadie Jo Brown from Hardinsburg. Congratulations. Now showing for division champion on the Hereford side.
Back on our Hereford side, picking our spring calf champion, 4 representatives that do it to a real high degree. Our class winners, I think, even though we're a little short on numbers, I think actually do fit together quite well as far as type and kind. 2 heifers that have some muscle shape, kind of, and at this stage of the game, come at us maybe just a shot more show ready than the 2 that are in second and just a little further along in condition, but that's okay. I mean, these are just springs. They got a long future to go, but probably just from a sheer muscle mass and bone density standpoint, I think these 2 stand out. The one that wins that first class, that March heifer calf, is one that I read a lot of future in. I like her up to her front 1/3. I think her bone work fits. I think everything fits together extremely nice. She bounces up really nice when you set her into motion. And that there's at times maybe if you want to get a little critical on this one, she too could just, maybe you could blow her apart a little bit more through that middle part of that body, but I still think everything fits as far as the balance in her lower 1/3. The power heifer that comes off that champion cow, it wins that next class, and one that is ripped up and pulled apart over her top and up out of her hip, one that just has that sheer presence and power, that added foot size and that bone. And the one that still squares up extremely nice. She's still nice, and for as stout as she is, that shoulder still fits nice into her. One that really blends good up over her top line and up out of her hip. I really like the muscle shape that when you get in behind her that she possesses. She too is just like the one right in front of her. If you're going to tweak both of these heifers a little bit, I think you want to maybe just work on that rib cage just a little bit. But both of these heifers still, when you get off from the side, still balance in the lower 1/3 of her body. I think sometimes there's that, especially in the show cattle world, we just get a little overconsumed about, how deep do these things need to be. I think it's more so it's all got a balance, and both of these heifers do. And 2 really nice, I think, green, fresh, highly attractive seconds over there. Probably for me in this division, it's the 2 class winners. Young man out of the second class is going to be our division champion. Young man out of our first class will be our reserve division. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Division I champion is entry number 12, Levi Womack from Pembroke, Kentucky. And your reserve champion was Rylan Hines, Magnolia, Kentucky, entry number 10, and champion in Kentucky owned. On the Simmental side, your junior heifer calf champion was Kyra Moore, entry number 5 from Fountain Run, Kentucky. Reserve was entry number 7, Madeline Talent from Ball Ground, Georgia. Reserve, Kentucky. Kyra was champion, Kentucky. Reserve was Patrick O'Sullivan from Murray, entry 4. Thank you, sir. Results from Class 10, late senior heifer Simmental. Your winner entry 13, Tyler Lundy, Bardstown, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky owned. Results of class number 11, early senior heifer Simmental calves. Your winner is entry number 18, Sadie Jackson from Paris, Kentucky, also first in Kentucky owned. Second place is entry 19, Mackenzie Emerson from Perryville, Kentucky, second in Kentucky owned. Third place was entry 18, Oliver Cripsover from Auburn, Kentucky. Fourth place was entry 21, James Jackson, Paris, Kentucky. Fifth place was entry 17, Destiny Adams, Broadhead, Kentucky. And sixth was entry number 20, Adam Miller from Eminence, Kentucky.
Back on our Hereford side, this class of falls is outstanding. These top 4 females, I think, are extremely close, presented at a high level. And so my compliments to those exhibitors and breeders, and the 3 heifers coming in, rounding out the class, still ultra high quality. The 4 that land at the top of this class, I think, put a lot of good extras together. To me, it gets a little bit of nitpicking on each and every single one of these ones and the way you want to line them up. For me, this is the most comfortable lineup for me. The heifer that wins, I think she's the one that easily wins on the standstill. Width and dimension over her top, up out of her hip, her boldness through her full rib back into that rib cage. I think that's where she really excels. Added foot size and bone, still plenty elegant up enough around her front end. There's at times when we set her into motion, though, and that's where the heifer that ends up being second probably pushes her just a little bit more. Is because the one that leads and wins this class, if you want to pick on her just ever so slightly, she could be just a little more comfortable in that transition when you set her into motion from stifle to hock to pastern. But I still think as this one gets out and goes plenty good enough, she's so commanding on the standstill, I still think she's the one you got to tie into to win this good set of 4. The one that ends up being second maybe is one of these top 4, no doubt in my mind. She's as far as skeletal design, structural correctness, and athleticism, she's the one, and that's what gets her up above these next 2. I think she gets out and rolls extremely nice. I think she's very long-bodied. She's got a little extra advantage in that length. She still bounces up plenty nice enough on the standstill. Maybe not as bold through the center part of her body in relation to that added length as a couple of the other heifers on either side of her, but her athleticism, her length, and her femininity, her freshness, I still think she's the one that's got to tie into that second spot. Young lady's heifer here in third, and one that I really like. And this young lady gets all the good out of this one, no doubt. From her full rib back, I think this one commands maybe into those that 1-2 kind of consideration. Rib, I like her freshness, her squareness. She commands some drive off of that rear leg when you set her into motion. But my problem with her today is just I want to change that shoulder to knee to ground. That shoulder rocks forward just a little too much, pushes that knee. She wants to bow just ever so slightly there. If we could relax her back in that knee and that shoulder just ever so slightly, I think that it changes a little bit of the concept of these top 3 placings. Man, that's still a good one and presented at a high level. Dark red one comes in forward, long body, long spine. With this one too, when you set her into motion, gets a little stiffer off of both ends. She too is a little straighter in that shoulder down into that knee. I want to change her from hooks to pins. I want to elevate those pins, give her just a shot more flair and dimension from hooks to pins as well. But one that's ultra, still well balanced in her lower 1/3 of her body, still nice enough in the back of her neck, still packs enough power and dimension. I just want to change her and just free her up off of both ends to get her just a little harder consideration into those top 2 spots. High quality heifer, young man. The one here in 5th, young man's got a moderate frame female, still good built, got some shape, got some dimension, just doesn't have the extra length and go as the top 4, but still a high quality heifer. The young lady's heifer coming in 6th is one that's got some length, she's got some balance, doesn't have the extras as far as dimension and power as those top 4, but over the young man's heifer that rounds out the class, she's just a little streamlined, a little better in her design, just a little more well balanced. Young man's rounding out the class is one we just need to change her from a skeleton design. She gets a little plainer about her hind leg, gets a little more uneasy about the way she handles her top line from hooks to pins. Just want to add a little more balance and just a shot more power and dimension into that female to get her any higher. Good set, a good group from top all the bottom.
Congratulations, your senior heifer calf champion Simmental breed is entry number 18, shown by Sadie Jackson from Paris, Kentucky, also first in Kentucky owned. And your reserve out of the same class, class number 11, was entry number 19, Mackenzie Emerson, Perryville, Kentucky, with your reserve senior calf champion. On the Hereford side, results from Class 4 Senior Heifer Calves. Your winner was entry number 20, shown by Cottage Hill Farm, Petersburg, West Virginia. Second place was entry number 23, shown by Levi Womack, Pembroke, Kentucky. In third place was Hallie Hughes, entry 22 from Noblick, Kentucky, Bursting, Kentucky proud. Fourth place was entry 67, William Sexton from Nicholasville, Kentucky. In fifth place was entry 24, Levi Mobley from Campbellsburg, Kentucky. And sixth place was entry number 19, Ben Smith, Brandenburg, Kentucky. And seventh place was entry number 21, Hunter Barnes, Taylorsville, Kentucky. Congratulations. Hereford exhibitors, at the conclusion of our show, you'll have an exhibitor meeting probably in the makeup ring here about 15 minutes after the completion of our Hereford show today.
Hawk, we need to true and square that one up also. But nice trio of heifers, nice class of sons of Lord.
Thank you, Judge Weingardner. Results of Class 15, Simmental Early Summer Yearling Heifers. Your winner entry 27, shown by Madeline Talent from Ball Ground, Georgia. In second place, entry number 25, exhibited by Destiny Adams from Broadhead, Kentucky. First in Kentucky owned. Third place, entry 26, Woods Wonderlick from Waddy, Kentucky. Second in Kentucky owned. Thank you, sir. Results from Class 18 Simmentals. Your winner is entry number 32, Ashlyn Pop from Versailles, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky owned. Thank you, sir. Results from Class 20 Simmental Early Junior Yearling Heifers. Your winner entry 37, shown by Tyler Lundy, Bardstown, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned.
outstanding class here in falls here in our Hereford show, and compliments to the breeders and exhibitors. Once again, we kind of get down into this top third, top half of this class, and I think it gets to be some give and take, and where you want to kind of set some things, and really just more so just kind of picking them apart and kind of seeing where they're all at this stage of the game as far as coming yearlings. And to me, I think we got a little bit of variety in different types and kinds here in these top four, and so we kind of got to break them apart. I guess that as longer I'm out here and the longer I stand, and I apologize for taking just a hot minute, but I think these cattle deserve it. The one that's going to win, I guess for me, is just going to end up being the combination heifer of look, style, and balance, freshness, and athleticism. I think of these top four, I think from a skeleton design standpoint, you set her into motion, she's extremely athletic, she's still good in her design, she's very fresh in her condition, she's still good enough about her front 1/3. We're going to change her just a little bit, might be just relax her right in the middle part of that spine, but I think in relation to her frame, her size, her depth of body is acceptable. She's got some more shape when you get in behind her. Of these ones, I think she's the one that puts the most good together as far as freshness, design, and athleticism. The young lady's heifer ends up being second. I think hit me pretty hard when she came in. I love her added foot size, and I like her bone. I love the extra length of body and her extra length of hip, and that's where she has this big advantage. I like this one quite well. She's still good enough through her front 1/3. I think she's got plenty of power when you get in behind her. Her rib shape's good. I don't know, there's at times, she too, I could get her, if she could just be just a shot more athletic, I think compared to that one that wins, I think you could do a few things a little different there. She's maybe not quite as sharp and needy right about her jawline as that one that wins, but that's still a high quality one there. The one that comes in third is one I think solid, big bodied, got some shape, got some density. I think she just comes at us sometimes at me. I get a look that she's a little lower in her pin set, a little deeper in her chest, maybe just a little more tucked into that forerib, maybe doesn't balance up quite as well, but one that's got some power and some dimension, still quality at the ground, still ultra high quality one. The one that comes in fourth is one that just kept moving up, and I thought she kind of rivaled these top four. She's got some added foot size and bones, some body density, some skeletal width and dimension, still maintains some look, some skeletal correctness, and that's probably where it really elevates her all the way to this highly competitive top four, is when you set her into motion. I think she gets out and goes extremely nice. She too comes at us extremely nice and fresh. A really nice one here comes in fifth. The young lady brings us maybe a little more moderate one, maybe just a little more refined in her overall bonework design, but her athleticism, her flexibility, her longevity is what gets her into that fifth spot. She maybe is not quite as balanced as some of the heifers on either side of her, gets a little deeper and plainer about her chest, maybe gives up some bone size, maybe a little muscle mass, but I like her athleticism. The young man coming in next is one that's got an extremely long-bodied, extended heifer, one that gets a little tighter when you set her in motion, maybe just a little tighter in that forerib, maybe doesn't quite have the overall skeletal expansion of them top four. Young man's heifer coming in next, and young man, I like this heifer quite well, and in my mind on the standstill, she's up into that top 4 or 5 spot. We set her into motion, she gets a little tighter off of both ends, a little tighter in that rib cage, but man, on the standstill, that one's square and really nice, gives you a good look. Another long spine, long hip one comes next, extended up through her front end, gets a little one-dimensional, a little flatter in her rib cage, a little flatter in her muscle shape. She too maybe just doesn't quite bounce up quite as well from the side with that added length, gets a little tighter in that midsection. Young man's heifer coming in next is one on the standstill, extremely square, good top, good hip, got some body shape, got some skeletal width. She too gets just a little plainer about her front 1/3, maybe a little tighter about her rib cage, maybe doesn't get out and go just quite as good as that top end females. Young lady's heifer coming in next. Young lady, this is a long spine, long hip one, maybe just doesn't have quite the balance, a little plainer, a little heavier about her front 1/3, and to me just doesn't have quite the rib cage to go with everything else that she's got, doesn't balance up quite as well. Young man's heifer coming in next, another really high quality female that's got some length and some look, maybe too just gets a little tighter in the middle part of her body, doesn't have quite the added length and dimension as some of those heifers up in front of her. Young man rounding out the class is one that's just a real nice refined polled Hereford female that doesn't have quite the power and punch that some of these other ones have in this class. Good set, really good group on the top half of that class.
Thank you, sir. Results from Class 21, early junior yearling Simmental heifers. Your winner is entry number 38, Kyra Moore, Fountain Run, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned. And second place was entry number 39, shown by Madeline Talent from Ball Ground, Georgia. Your results from senior heifer calves in the Hereford ring. Your winner was entry 34, Morgan Riley from College Grove, Tennessee. In second place was entry 38, shown by Ada Meredith from Hodgensville, Kentucky, and Burston, Kentucky proud. Third place was entry 80, shown by Levi Womack, Pembroke, Kentucky. Fourth place was entry 39, Will Beckley from Irvin, Kentucky, and second in Kentucky owned. Fifth place was entry number 33, shown by Caitlin Keith from Campbellsville, Kentucky. Sixth place was entry 40, Abram Meredith from Hodgensville, Kentucky. Seventh was entry 31, Will Beckley, Irvin, Kentucky. Eighth was entry 79, Ashlyn Tingle, Eminence, Kentucky. Ninth place, entry 28, Jordan Hall, Houstonville, Kentucky. 10th place was entry 78, Sadie Jo Brown, Hardensburg, Kentucky. 11th was entry 37, Colton Emerson from Perryville, Kentucky. And 12th was Nate Bramer from Taylorsville, Kentucky. Great class. Congratulations.
We get into our fall division, a highly competitive division, no doubt. The classes were extremely deep and the quality was outstanding. And I think when we get these four back out here, I think it kind of sets a little bit of a trend of where I'm at. I want some cattle with some punch. I want some cattle with some look. I want some cattle with some flex and go, and then still give you that good look. And I think that's the one thing all four of these do. They balance up good. I think they're ideal in where they're at in their condition, and still functionality and a little extra look. We'll break them down here because I think this is a tough division. The November heifer that wins that first class, no doubt, and I said that in the class, a heifer that on the standstill is extremely good. I mean, so good over her top and her hip, bounces up really good in her lower 1/3. I like the three-dimensional shape that she possesses, especially within this division. I think that's where she has an advantage. In relation to her frame and in relation to her length, she's so well balanced, but she's got that extra flare muscle shape over her loin edge, right up there in behind her shoulders. You get right in behind her, she's got a little more twist and turns in the middle part of that stifle and carries it down. And then she's so square and so good, and she's still plenty good about her chest and her head and her neck, just squares up and looks extremely nice. The heifer but then when you set her into motion, and I think you can get a little critical on this one, but I don't think you can get ultra critical on, and that's the only thing. I think, sometimes we can overanalyze certain things and certain traits, but I think this one still gets out. She still covers her tracks. She still gets out and goes. There's at times I could see just a shot more flex and maybe that upper hip and translate it and go, but she is carrying just a shot more muscle than a couple of the other ones out here, and so that also has a little bit to do with it as well. The goggle-eyed heifer that come out of that next challenging class, I settled on this one because I thought she was a good combination female. Square, good built, quality at the ground, one that's still real fresh. She's maybe not as dimensional as far as her rib cage and maybe muscle shape as the one that's right in front of her. And there's at times she wants to get just a little elevated in her spine on the move, but I also think that should just, maybe she's just clipped a little tighter up over her top and she doesn't have quite the hair to kind of balance that out. But I think this one is so good as far as her freshness and her quality there and her athleticism, and still just balances up extremely nice. And a great pair of seconds out here. The one that was second in that first class was one that I thought was, I guess I just read a lot of future into this one. She's so athletic. She's so long. She's still so good neck. She still balances up really nice. And still, it to me, one that I guess within this fall division, one that I read a tremendous amount of future in. The heifer that comes out second in that next class is one that I thought was stout, powerful. There's at times, we could limber her up just a little bit more, maybe gets just a little bit plainer about her head and her neck, maybe compared to like our class winners. But one, I love the power and the presence and the density of that one. I think it's a close decision within this group. We're going to pick a champion. We'll bring another one back in, get a little closer for reserve. But if you could, reward our class winners with a really nice round of applause, please.
Congratulations, your Division II Hereford champion, number 20 out of Class 4, Cottage Hill Farms, Petersburg, West Virginia.
Well, as we get ready to select our division champion out here.
Congratulations, your junior champion Simmental heifer comes out of Class 18, entry number 32, shown by Ashley Pop, Versailles, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky route. Kyra Moore is your reserve junior champion out of Class 21, entry number 38. Kyra's from Fountain Run, Kentucky. Congratulations, both of them Kentucky. Your reserve in Division II Herefords was entry number 34, Morgan Riley from College Grove, Tennessee. Congratulations.
Excellent pair of June heifers in this class. Two high-quality females that are really square-made and good-looking and attractive. The one that just comes at you and hits you as a really just big-time cow prospect is a young lady's heifer that's going to win. Well, this thing is built really, really nice. Square up over her top and from her hooks to her pins. really flat shoulder, blends good and nice into that forerib. One that balances up extremely nice in her lower 1/3. And at this stage of the game, just, really nice teat structure. I sure appreciate that about her. Quality at the ground. Foot size matches her bone. Gets out and goes extremely nice. Has some width and dimension when you get in behind her. Just balances up extremely nice. Just high quality female to win this class. Another good one ends up becoming second from her shoulders back. Long spine, long hip. Heifer that's really good and correct off of her rear too. One we're going to change her is just maybe in that rib cage. We want to see a little more lower turn to that rib cage, but probably a bit more than that. It's just someone to take that shoulder and rock it back into her. A little straighter in that shoulder, a little straighter in that knee. Still real nice neck and chest and headed. Just want to change that shoulder and front knee into her and just relax it back so she can get out and go just a little bit better off of that front end. Two high quality females.
Thank you, Judge Meyer. Results of Class 6, late summer yearling Hereford females. Your winner, entry 47, Carly Muser from Otterbein, Indiana. And second place was entry number 48, Colin Huseman from Raleigh, Illinois. Congratulations. Congratulations, your result in Class 24 Simmental, late summer yearling heifers. Your winner, entry 43, Josie Phillips from Maysville, Kentucky.
Well, just another good pair of Hereford females. And, man, I sure appreciate the depth of quality that we're seeing this morning. And both of these heifers, I think, are excellent. The one that's going to win, I think she's just a little stouter. She's just a little softer. She's just a little longer. One that both of these heifers are wanting to kind of get a little lazy on us out here in the ring. It's been probably a long week here at the Kentucky State Fair, and but the thing is that with the young man's heifer, I think she's so good and soft at the ground, gets out and reaches extremely good off of both ends, just plants and drives that hind leg extremely comfortable. She's just a little bit more dimensional through the center part of her body, still fresh and lean up over her top line, and there's where we could change her just a little bit right in behind those shoulders, but she's still, for this stage and this age, I think she's still fresh and green in that respect, but still has some width and dimension you get in behind her, but love her flexibility, her natural softness, and her dimension, and with that, her added length. Hereford comes in second. I like that shape when you get in behind her. Hooks to pins down into that stifle. She got some extra turn over that top. One that's still nice about her front end. Still has plenty of body shape. Probably for me, compared to our class winner, she just gets a little straighter in that shoulder and that knee, and just a little straighter off of that hind leg. Maybe just doesn't have quite as much natural flex in those pasterns and then that hock as that class winner. A man on the standstill, you got to appreciate the quality of that one, no doubt.
Thank you, Judge. Results of Class 25. Your winner, entry number 49, Ashlyn Pop from Versailles, Kentucky, first in Kentucky, owned. And second was entry number 44, Danielle Taylor, Nicholasville, Kentucky, second in Kentucky, owned. Senior champion female will be next on the Simmental side.
Really nice division here of intermediate females here, this May-June division, and just 4 representatives in this division, but 4 really good ones. And I know we had a lot of depth and quality in that fall division, but in this division jumps in here at us and with a little smaller numbers, but I think we have another big jump in quality. These two class winners, make no bones about it, like both of these heifers quite well. Both of these heifers here are extremely athletic, love them at the ground. They're both real square off of both ends, so from a skeleton design and at the ground, I think both of these heifers check the boxes extremely well. Sure appreciate that about them. Both of them, for their age, I think come at us in the right kind of condition as well too. Both of them are plenty fresh. I like how they're handling everything from that standpoint, so I think they check that box. Then it just comes down to who's a little more here, who's a little more here and there. The one that wins the first class, so good and strong up over her top and up out of her hip, like I said, she has probably an advantage in this pair in transition from shoulder to forerib, and I sure appreciate that about her. And then still maintains, she's not near as long-bodied as that one that comes out of that next class, but still in relation to her frame and her length, I think balances up extremely nice. The goggle-eyed heifer, a little bigger framed heifer that comes out of that May class, one that we talked about, that was so good and comfortable and soft at the ground. I love her added rib shape. Her density as far as her body cavity is where she does have an advantage in this division. Her natural spring to that rib cage, then the setment and attachment of her forerib back into that rear flank, I think transitions into where she has an advantage as well too. We talked about compared to the one that's right in front of her, maybe not just as perfect right in behind her shoulders as that one that wins that first class, but the heifer that comes out of that second class, so long spine, so long hip, still extended enough, and still one that still balances really good in her lower one-third, their chest floor and in her middle part of her body cavity back into that udder. Both of these heifers, you get in behind them, and I think they're, in relation to their frame and mature padded, I think got plenty of muscle. I think the biggest decision you just got to make, you got a heifer with just a shot more density and a shot more power, maybe one that's just a little tighter in the way she's constructed through her the back side of her shoulder. Probably for me, I'm going to go with some power. Young man's going to, out of the second class, going to be division champion. Young lady will be our reserve division. Congratulations, two outstanding females.
Congratulations, your Division III champion in the Hereford side is entry number 49 out of Class 7, Luke Keith, your exhibitor from Campbellsville, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned. And your reserve, entry number 47, Carly Muser from Otterbein, Indiana. Congratulations. I get to catch up a little bit on Class 7, early summer yearlings. Second place in that class was Bo Todd, Mount Vernon, Kentucky. Congratulations, your senior champion on the Simmental side comes out of class 24, entry number 43, exhibited by Josie Phillips from Maysville, Kentucky. Reserve senior champion female, entry number 49, Ashley Pop from Versailles, Kentucky. Congratulations. Grand champion female will be next.
distance free.
Back on our Hereford side, a single class of junior yearlings, so this is a class in division, and so kind of wanted to run a few different things and scenarios through my mind, and so we got some obvious different types and kinds and different stages of condition out here, and to me, and sometimes you want to kind of set into a trend or a pattern. I'm one of those guys that likes to do it. And sometimes within this particular class, I don't necessarily know that we can do it. I think we just got to start finding quality. I like these top 3 females extremely nice. There's probably 2 and 3 are a little bit more similar in kind. The one that's going to win, I think she's kind of these top 3 have been in this scenario. She's either got to win or she's got to be third. And I think in this particular class, I think in my mind, she's got to win. I think of these top 3, she's easily the most athletic one and genuine at the ground when you set them into motion. She's got some added foot size and added bone. She's the freshest one of the 3 by far. Still so good in her top line. She still bounces up. Yeah, she's got just a little bit more gas, just a shot more frame. For just an April female, and I'm always been one of those guys. I appreciate good big ones. I appreciate good moderate ones. And yeah, there's at times some guys can step back and, boy, we need to tone that one down. But we're also in a stage of the beef industry that we do need a shot of power and some gas because it commands it there at the packer when you're talking about 1,600 pound fat steers. So her frame does not bother me one bit. I like her athleticism. I like her freshness. I like her completeness. And I like her balance. And I think she's got enough of power to go with that frame. The heifer that's in second is not anywhere close to the same type and kind as our class winner and division winner. But I think the quality, she's right there with her. I love the density, the power as far as muscle, her natural softness, one that just puts that nice natural soft look together. And you know, this one at first glance, guys, I think can kind of come at you and say, oh, she's a little chubby. No, that's a lot of real heifer there, guys, packed into maybe a little more moderate, a little more toned down frame compared to our class winner. There's a lot of good real red meat in this one, big over her top and her hip. She's naturally so soft. Still, for one, you know, compared to the ones on either side of her, I just like to stretch her out, just give her a little more length, just make her a little longer behind, a little longer fronted. I think when we set her into motion, you know, we've talked about this before, you know, she does this. She moves like a cat like the first one, maybe not, but she's also packing just a little bit more muscle. So she wants to get outside of herself a little bit. So that doesn't really bother me. I'm just nitpicking a few things. But, man, that's an ultra dense, ultra soft, good moderate female that still maintains with all that three-dimensional look, a good look and presented at a high level. Another good one here comes in third. Long spine, long hip. I'd like to freshen this one up just a scotch. I think if we could peel this one back just a little bit more, it might change the concept of this deal here. Big body, still nice enough running. Gets a little chestier, a little plainer, maybe a little plainer. Doesn't maybe have quite the added reach as both of those heifers right in front of her. Now, young lady, this heifer here in fourth is really, really good. And I like the freshness. She comes at us from her shoulders back. My problem for me is just in the lower 1/3. Chest floor sits and sternum sits down there a little too far. And so she gets running downhill in the lower 1/3 of her body. I'm going to drop that rear flank and that fore rib just a little bit more and balance her out down there because, man, she's good over her top and her hip. She gets out and goes extremely nice. You show the absolute wheels off of her. I just like to give her just a shot more through the center part of her body to go with that little extra chest that she has. But, man, that thing's really, really good, young lady. Young man's heifer coming in next. Square, good made one. She, too, maybe want to just blow her apart a little bit more through the center part of her body. Maybe doesn't get out and just track and go just quite as good as that young lady's heifer right in front of her. But, man, that's still a good-looking, good square-made one. Another, a bigger frame female comes in next. She just gets a little linear in her design, a little tighter in that fore rib and that rear flank. Gets a little more elevated in that spine. Doesn't balance out quite as well. She's got some added foot size and some bone. Got some unique parts and pieces. Just want to make her just a nickel softer. Young man rounding out the class. Nice conventional female. Just gets a little plainer about her look off of both ends. But really good set. A really nice trio of females on that top side of that class.
Your grand champion female here at the Simmental Kentucky State Fair is entry number 43, Josie Phillips, Maysville, Kentucky. Congratulations to the Phillips family on their champion, grand champion, Simmental Reserve, Ashlyn Ashlyn Pop from Versailles, Kentucky, entry number 32 is your reserve grand champion. Congratulations. Results from Class 8 Hereford Spring Yearling Females. Your winner, entry 55, shown by Levi Womack, Pembroke, Kentucky. Second was entry number 53, shown by Cottage Hill Farms, Petersburg, West Virginia. Third was entry 63, shown by Ellen Todd, Mount Vernon, Kentucky. Fourth place was entry 60, shown by Hallie Hughes from Knoblick, Kentucky. Fifth place was entry 64, shown by Will Beckley, Irvin, Kentucky. Sixth place was entry 56, Colin Huseman from Raleigh, Illinois. And seventh was Easton Fuqua from Owensboro, Kentucky. Congratulations. We're now showing for Division 4 on the Hereford side. Division 4. Bulls for the Simmentals.
Back on our Hereford side, another class and division. A good female to go one and win this division one that's very comfortable at the ground, some added foot size and bone, one that puts together some mass and some bounce and some look. And still in relation to her age and the stage of the game, I think a pretty ideal condition as well, and one that just puts a lot of good things together. Square, stout, sound, still good looking. Heifer coming in second and be our reserve in this division. Big-bodied, big-ended female. Maybe doesn't quite have the added lift through her sternum as the heifer that wins. Maybe gets just a little rounder about her overall makeup. Doesn't have quite the added sharpness and elevation out of the top side of her neck, but one that still gets out and goes nice and a lot of center dimension and product. The young lady's heifer that comes in third, maybe just a little more streamlined. Still good, high-quality female, good up out of her top line and her hip. She maybe, compared to those two, gets just a little tighter in her forerib and rear flank, maybe just runs out of just a little bit more balance and power compared to those two in front of her, but still a high-quality female presented at a high level. Three outstanding individuals, really good, complete one to win that class and division.
Thank you, Judge Meyer. Results from Class 9. Hereford Junior Yearling Females. Your winner, entry 69, shown by Michaela Massey, London, Kentucky. First in Kentucky owned. Second place was entry 68, shown by Rylan Hines, Magnolia, Kentucky. Second in Kentucky owned. And third place was entry number 73, Addison Sanford from Frankfort, Kentucky. Your results from the first bull class in the Simmentals. junior bull calves. Your first was entry number 6, shown by Tyler Lundy, Bardstown, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned. And second place was entry 55, Riley Martin from Taylorsville, Kentucky, second in Kentucky owned. Thank you, Judge Weingardner. Results of class number 35, Simmental Early Senior Bull Calves. Your winner, entry number 58, Richard Howe from Yorktown, Indiana. In second place, entry number 59, shown by Destiny Adams from Broadhead, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky owned. Thank you, sir. Results of class 42, April Junior Yearling Bulls, entry number 64, your winner, Madeline Talent, the exhibitor from Ball Ground, Georgia. Congratulations, your grand champion, Simmental Bull, comes out of Class 35, entry number 58. Richard Howell from Yorktown, Indiana, has your champion, Simmental Bull. Congratulations, your reserve grand champion bull here at the Kentucky State Fair in the Simmental is entry number 64, shown by Battle and Talent, Ball Ground, Georgia. Congratulations. Hey, tell me, we're going to go right on into to our percentage Simmentals without a break. Sounds like most of them are up here. Premier exhibitor, Madeline Talent from Georgia, and Premier breeder, Wayward Hills Farms from Versailles, Kentucky. Congratulations.
Back on our Hereford side, really good set of senior yearlings here, and a good set from top to bottom. I think all these exhibitors ought to be proud because here's some girls here that are going to start getting in close to their stage of productivity. A little bit of variance in type and kind in these top two in our division winners, and that's okay. We've already seen that earlier this morning. I think both of these things are excellent. The big difference is for me is the one that's going to win is just a little longer spine, a little longer hip, a little more extended. I think she comes out as just a little fresher in her condition. I really prefer this one of these top probably 4 or 5, or actually within this class, is there separation in her teat placement and her teat size and her teat uniformity and her design. I think she excels that within this particular class as well. You set her into motion. I think she's extremely comfortable at the ground to go with that extra length of body that she possesses. Is she as massive and dense as that one that comes in second? Probably not. But in relation to her length and her extension, I think she's got more than plenty. Gets out and goes extremely nice. The one that's in second, I think, is big-bodied, ultra-dense, ultra pulled apart, got a lot of shape and muscle, carrying just a smidgen more. And that's another, not really to pick on her, because one that's just naturally this soft in this age, I still think she comes out as really nice as far as that condition standpoint. She just gets a little plainer and a little more masculine about her head and her neck and her chest. Probably for me, I'd like to elevate her pasterns just a little bit. She sets back on those pasterns just a little much for me. But man, outside of that, that's an awesome pair of females. The young that comes in third is one that, man, at times, boys, this one give you a good look. I love the construction of her front 1/3, shoulder, chest, head, and neck, good up over her top line and up out of her hip. But she, from there back, though, in her forerib, she wants to come in just a little bit more, doesn't transition from shoulder to forerib quite as good. Change the way her teat design just is, just a little bit, and maybe just add just a little bit more drop to that rear flank attachment to just bounce her up just a shot more from the side. But man, that's still an ultra good moving one. Another one that's really good as far as her design over her top and her hip and has some muscle shape. I like her the way her hind leg is designed. Where I want to change this one is through her shoulder and her knee. Just gets a little straighter in that shoulder and that knee. Maybe doesn't get out and go off of that front end quite as nice and easy as those ones right in front of her. Maybe to her, just to add a little more of that flair to that forerib to get that shoulder transition just a little bit better. Young lady's got a big, stout, powerful cow prospect. You talk about pounds and productivity. Here she goes. One that still, I mean, guys, this one still gives you a nice look with that. I mean, she's still good about her chest and her neck. I think she's really bold to her center part of her body. Maybe for me, we just want to change her top line design. She gets a little elevated in her tail head, runs downhill to that hook bone just a little bit more. Maybe balance her up just a little bit. Maybe refine those teat structure just a little bit more for me. Make it just a little more ideal. But, man, that's a power cow, no doubt. Another power cow rounds out the class. Big body, bold mate, just a little unbalanced. Gets a little, comes at us a little more in pieces than those ones right in front of her. But man, still one that adds a lot of pounds and productivity. Good set, good class from top to bottom. My compliments to all those exhibitors.
Thank you, Judge Lindell Meyer. Your results from Class 10, Senior Yearling Females in the Hereford. Your winner is entry 84, shown by Levi Womack, Pembroke, Kentucky. Second place was entry number 88, shown by Morgan Riley, College Grove, Tennessee. Third place was was entry 89, Katie Musser from Otterbein, Indiana. Fourth place was entry 83, Hallie Hughes, Knoblich, Kentucky. In fifth place was entry 86, Anna Gail Sally from Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Sixth place was entry number 85, Anna Gail Sally from Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Congratulations. Thank you, Judge Brad Weingartner. Your results in your first class of percentage Simmental, entry number 1. Your winner was lot number 2, shown by Kyra and Johnny Moore from Fountain Run, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned. A Herdsman Award. They tell me we have 7 placings. We have banners for the first one and premiums for the others. I'll start from 7th place in the Herdsman Award here at the Kentucky State Fair 2025 is Jeffrey's Angus, Lily, Lucy, Emily, and Kyle. 6th place, Kephart. Kephart's, which is Caden Kephart. 5th place is Pleasant Meadows, which is Tillman and DeRossi. 4th place was Womack, Levi Womack. 3rd place was Wayward Hill and Lawrence Allen. And 2nd place was Hoffman and Hill Country, Kyra Moore. And in your winner, the Herdsman Award for this year, a banner, if you want to come forward, Adams Brothers, Owen and Noah Adams is your Herdsman winner for 2025. Congratulations. Adams Brothers.
Back on our Hereford side, just a tremendous lineup of females here for selecting our champion Hereford female here this morning for the Kentucky State Fair. The compliments to all these breeders and exhibitors at a really good set, a lot of depth of quality. We had some big classes. I think, you know, through this, I think you can kind of see where I've tried to land and where I've tried to work these cattle and get our division winners, like some cattle with some look and some balance and yet some power, and still put it all in a very functional skeleton. And then with all the basics, one thing for me, I just trying to kind of put it all together as far as function and athleticism and power and maternal traits. And you know, I think that's just truly the ideal that we want to do. And of course, here in the show ring, we want to add is a little bells and whistles as far as maybe just a little more bone or maybe just a little more look and balance. And I think we get out here in our division winners and our reserve divisions, and I think you can kind of see that we're not going to go back through. Hopefully I've done a good enough job through classes and division to kind of give you an idea of what I saw in each one of you's cattle. I know that's the number one job when you accept these judging jobs is just try to explain yourself and what you see and what you like and make everybody understand because there's a lot of good cattle. The show industry is extremely competitive and it's just one guy's decision that day. So if you could, Hereford breeders, give yourself a nice round of applause on an awesome set of females. I'll pick you a pair of champions.
Results of Class 7 Simmental, percentage Simmental bulls. Your winner, entry number 9, Riley Martin, Taylorsville, Kentucky, and Kentucky owned. Congratulations, your grand champion, Hereford female here at the Kentucky State Fair, is entry number 49, shown by Luke Keith from Campbellsburg, Kentucky. Congratulations. Congratulations. Your champion in heifer calf division is Patrick O'Sullivan, entry number 6 from Murray, Kentucky. And your reserve is entry number 9, shown by Riley Martin, Taylorsville, Kentucky. Congratulations. Your reserve champion, grand champion here in the Hereford division is entry number 20, shown by Cottage Hill Farms, Petersburg, Kentucky. Again, your champion. Out of Class 7, entry 49, Luke Keith with the grand champion Hereford female. And your reserve champion, entry number 20, Cottage Hill Farms, Petersburg, West Virginia. Congratulations. Thank you, sir. Results from Class 11 early senior heifer. This is percentage Simmentals. Your winner, entry number 15, Grayson Ruber from Georgetown, Kentucky, also first in Kentucky owned. Second place was entry 14, Richard Howe from Yorktown, Indiana. And third place, entry number 19, Owen Griffhover from Auburn, Kentucky, second in Kentucky owned. They also are division and reserve division champions, those winners in that class. Thank you, sir. Results of Class 15, early summer yearling percentage Simmental heifers. Your winner is entry number 22, Nash Wonderlick, Waddy, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned. In second place was entry number 23, Tyler Lundy from Bardstown, Kentucky, second in Kentucky owned. Mia Shelton, we need you in the ring, please. Lot 31, Mia Shelton. Well, it looks like we're ready for bulls on the Hereford side. We got our pictures taken. Let's start those bulls towards the ring.
Good way to start our Hereford Bull Show. Just a really nice spring calf here that's good in his lines. He's very good at the ground as far as his mobility. Still fresh and green, but I like his skeleton design, his look, and his pattern. Bull, as he matures and masses up, I think going to make a really nice herd prospect for this young lady. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Results from Class 11 Spring Bull Calves. Entry 96 wins the class. Hanson Pyle, Cecilia, Kentucky. And your percentage Simmental Class 18 results. Your winner, entry number 31, Maya Shelton from Rockport, Indiana. Second place was entry number 28, first in Kentucky, owned Destiny Adams from Broadhead, Kentucky. And third place was entry number 30, Jason Ruber from Georgetown, Kentucky, second in Kentucky, owned. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Your winner, entry 19, percentage Simmental, is entry number 36, Sadie Jo Brown from Hardinsburg, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky, owned.
Another really nice made single incher here. The young lady brings this one that's very correct and good in his lines. Bull's neck comes up high out of his blades. Once again, very correct at the ground. Very functional. Foot size matches his bone. Has some added muscle shape. Balances up extremely nice. Just a high quality single entry for this young lady. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Results of Class 12 Junior Bull Calves in Hereford. Your winner, entry number 98, Ben Smith, Brandenburg, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky, owned.
Back on our Hereford Bull side, two entries out here for this division, and I think the bull that's going to come out of this division just got sure more mass and power. The young lady's bull that wins second class, really good in his design, good quality, good function, dark cherry red bull. He'll be our division champion. The bull out of first class will be our reserve. Congratulations.
Congratulations, your junior bull or Division One bull calf champion on the Hereford entry 98, Ben Smith, Brandenburg, Kentucky, and your reserve entry 96, Hanson Pyle, Cecilia, Kentucky. Your winner of class number 20 in the percentage Simmentals, early junior yearlings, is entry number 34, Wyatt Phillips from Maysville, Kentucky. Congratulations, Wyatt.
Another really good single entry fall bull here. The young man brings this one that's just ultra soft bodied. And love that about him. Soft and wear that fore rib and rear flank attachment. Bull that's got some smoothness and some balance. Transitions really good from shoulder back into that fore rib. One that's very elegant when you set him into motion. Maintains still some masculine look about him. Combines some power and some natural softness and some look. High quality individual to win this class.
Thank you, sir. Results from class number 21, percentage Simmentals, early junior yearling heifers. Your winner, entry 35, Kyra Moore from Fountain Run, Kentucky, first in Kentucky owned. Hereford side, congratulations. Out of class 14, your senior bull class winner, entry 103, shown by Stephen Green, Hodgensville, Kentucky, and first in Kentucky owned.
Two high quality bulls here at the Horn Bull and the Pole Bull, and the Horn Bull I think is just a shot more massive. I mean, just a bull that very square off of both ends. A bull that's just a shot more chiseled. Bull that's really big over his top and up out of his hip, and I like his hip construction from hooks of pins and his tail head lays into him. Bull still balances up really nice, and then with that extra foot size and bone and go with that added length, just a high quality bull. The Pole Bull is one that's really soft. I mean, he still maintains some balance. A bull that's still got some look. Maybe just sits a little bit plainer about his chest, his neck. Maybe not quite as massive at the ground as far as foot size, the bone. Maybe not just pulled apart over his top as the Horn Bull. But man, two excellent individuals. My compliments to both of those exhibitors.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations in your class 16 early summer yearling bulls. Your winner, entry 109, Morgan Riley, College Grove, Tennessee. And second place was entry number 108, Jordan Hall, Houstonville, Kentucky. Congratulations, your junior champion and percentage Simmental female out of Class 20, exhibited by Wyatt Phillips, Maysville, Kentucky.
Smoothness and neatness, just kind of tweak that chest forward ever so slightly, really kind of pushes our champion. She's going to be your reserve. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, your reserve junior champion percentage Simmental class out of Class 21, entry 35, shown by Kyra Moore, Fountain Run, Kentucky. Wyatt Phillips champion, Kyra Moore reserve in the junior.
Another great single entry here on a Hereford Bull side. You know, here's a junior yearling that is extremely soft and good at the ground. Love his foot size and his bone matches up. Bull gets out and goes extremely nice. And then he adds some mass and some power with that. Big body, good in his forerib, good in his design. Bull that's still nice and chiseled about his head and his neck, but still has some masculine features. Bull puts so many nice things together.
Thank you, sir. Results from Class 17, Spring Yearling Bulls, Hereford. Your winner, entry number 112, shown by Ray Ramsey, Greenfield, Indiana.
Another really nice single entry here. The young man brings us a bull that's really good in his lines, flat and square down his top and up out of his hip. A bull that, in relation to his frame and his maturity pattern, a bull that still has some look and some bounce. We're going to change him just a little bit. We could just rock him back in that shoulder and knee just a little bit, but still a square, long-bodied, attractive bull. Congratulations.
Congratulations, results of Class 18. Your winner, entry 116, shown by Hunter Barnes, Taylorsville, Kentucky. First in Kentucky owned. Thank you, Judge Weingardner. Results of Class 24, late senior yearling percentage Simmental heifers. Your winner, entry number 41, Kylie Klein, Butler, Kentucky, also first in Kentucky owned. As we get close to the end of the show, we've been blessed with two really good cowmen today to sort our livestock here at the Kentucky State Fair. Mr. Brad Weingardner, we appreciate you, sir, from being part of this program, and Mr. Lindell Meyer, thank you, sir, for being part of our Kentucky State Fair and doing a great job, both of you.
Well, folks, it's been an honor and a privilege. Appreciate the state of Kentucky having me come out here this morning and judge the Hereford cattle and you Hereford breeders. And sure, been a really, really good show. And so we end in this morning here in our Champion Bull Drive. And I'll leave this with you just a little bit. You know, if you're involved in this show cattle industry, just here recently in the last week, it's been a little bit tough. we've lost some great ones, some legends within this industry. And so I don't want to get into all of it. I had a kind of a little bit of an emotional ride up here last night talking to some different friends. But this last year, 2 years, it's been tough. And so got a great text message from my son that's off in school. Kind of made me, sometimes in this cattle industry, and it's super competitive, and sometimes we lose just a little bit of grass sometimes when we're chasing banners. But the only thing I want to leave with everybody is just, I talked to a good friend back in Oklahoma, and, when you were a kid, somebody always said, there's this old cliche saying, hey, take a little time or stop and smell the roses. And sometimes you don't really understand what that phrase means until you get older. But just sometimes we need to stop and smell the roses. And life gets going hard and fast. And just like I told my son yesterday, you got to appreciate every day like it's your last. And so don't ever take nothing for granted. So it's certainly been an honor and a privilege. And my comments to you guys is just appreciate it. Appreciate being here. Appreciate doing this, being involved in this industry with your friends and your family. Don't ever take it for granted because you never know what tomorrow might hold. Thank you. I'll go out here and pick you a pair of bulls that I think pair up extremely nice. Congratulations.
Congratulations, your grand champion bull, entering one tail, Ray Ramsey from Greenfield, Indiana.